So that shiny new game just came out, Subnautica 2, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Let's take a look at the game first and first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played this game for 7 hours and I have some thoughts. First off, I never got into the first game, so I can't really compare these two. Secondly, I first tried this game on PC Game Pass, but the performance was abysmal, so I changed to the Steam version. The performance there is also bad, but for some reason Steam has frame generation and Game Pass does not. Frame generation made a bad time on this game for me turn into a passable time. The 1% FPS lows in this game are just not good in both versions that I tried, Game Pass and Steam. I'd have 1% lows of 20 to 60 FPS, but usually around 30 or 40. That makes the game stutter and hitch, so it just doesn't feel the best. It's also possible that it's my GPU or my GPU driver, but anyways, let's move on. Besides the performance, which needs to be optimized, the game itself is actually pretty good. I do mean the gameplay though, and not the story. You don't really know a lot about the story to begin with. There's not a lot of explaining. You instead get more and more information as you find people's black boxes, find past records, and as the AI speaks to you. The gameplay is slow, and I feel like I say this every single time that I play a crafting game. Let's start at the beginning. So you wake up in a life pod, and it's just you and Noah, which is an AI. This AI will be the one giving you the story missions, but you could probably ignore it and do your own thing. Anyways, the missions it gives you are pretty much retrieval missions, either for items or data, and the further into the game that you go, the harder that they get. You need to retrieve something, but it's blocked behind something that you can't even open yet. So you play the game normally, and then you keep building yourself up until you come across how to open that, and then you go back and do it, and then you get a new mission. I've learned some somewhat interesting tidbits of information, but the story isn't why you play this game, it's the gameplay. In the life pod, you have a storage, a place where you respawn, a place that you can re-customize your character, the AI, and the fabricator. The character customization sucks, at least as of release, but it says more is coming in that department. I'm just unsure when that'll be or what they're gonna add. Currently, it's a few different pre-made characters to choose from, and like 5 different color schemes. You have 4 things to keep track of, or you die: health, food, water, and oxygen. This is an alien water world, so oxygen is very important, as you'll be doing almost everything underwater. Luckily, you'll be able to make an air tank at the fabricator so that you can breathe longer underwater. Well, eventually you can make that. You have to collect other resources first. You need titanium, which is plentiful, rubber, which takes 2 other resources to craft, and silver. Silver in particular took a long time for me to actually find. Here's a tip for you when it comes to resources. If you can't find it, or you haven't heard of it, then it's probably a lot further out than you thought. I stayed really close to the life pod in the beginning. I didn't want to die and then have to go all the way back to get my stuff, and I even built my base right underneath it. Eventually, I did get an air tank, which gave me more confidence, and then later, I got an improved air tank with even more air, plus a rebreather, so I could then stay underwater for a good chunk of time. If you're about to die from lack of oxygen, going to the surface will save you, or you could use an air bladder. It's a device that will inflate and rocket you to the surface. I love that thing, it's great. There's also oxygen bubbles underwater that you'll find. You can use that to refill your tanks with too. You'll unlock more tools as you play, vital tools. There's a scanner, which will help you unlock things to craft when you scan them, or just give you information. A habitat tool, which is what you use to build your base. A multi-tool, that's for hitting resources that need to be broken up, and there's more too. Food and water are easy to come by. You can craft food easily, and catching fish is also easy. You just swim up to them and you grab it. Water is also easy to make too. You catch blue jelly-like creatures, and you could drink them raw, or make them into a proper water drink at the fabricator, and doing that gives you better hydration. There's more complex food items, but the basics are usually good enough. Health isn't too much of a concern. Sometimes a creature will nibble and bite you, but they don't really do too much damage. You can use medkits to heal, and you can make medkits too. Really, I didn't feel too much of a threat from the underwater creatures. I mean, they can and will kill me if I just sit there, but swimming away after being bitten a couple times is pretty easy. They'll follow you for a little while, and then just go back to where they were. Storage in this game is tight. You have a limited inventory, and a limited storage in the life pod too. Eventually, when you craft your own base, you can craft more storage too, but those are also limited. Why, you ask? Well, that's because items don't stack. A single titanium will take 1 slot, for example, so you could have 20 total titanium taking up an entire storage device. It would be a lot easier if those stacked and took 1 slot. A base that you craft will need power, as all items in there require it. Well, most items do. Storage doesn't need power. A solar panel on your base will be good during the day, but at nighttime it's not enough, and your power will go out. You'll need to set up an alternative. I had generators placed in a hole with a strong current, and the current powered the generators. I then had to connect them to the base, and voila, I had power even at night. The items that you can craft and place in your base are really helpful. There's a machine that can make ingots, as ingots are required sometimes. There's a machine that lets you choose an active and passive biomod, which are basically perks. I only had 2 of each, and I could only equip 1 of each. The whole time that I played, I never unlocked any more biomods or more biomod slots, so I'm not sure what I need to do for that. The biomods are useful. I used a dash mod, which I use constantly underwater, and the other biomod lets me swim faster on the seafloor or on the bottom of a surface. Back to storage though, you can carry around a portable storage device, but it has to be in your hands. This was pretty useful to me as I gathered resources near the life pod, but the things I needed started to be further out, and it's not ideal to be slowly swimming back and forth long distances. I eventually built a tool that is a water jet on your arm, and that let me swim faster. I use that constantly, but you can't use that and something else at the same time, so I can't carry a storage device while I use that. I'm now at the point where I'm thinking it's time to make more bases further out, simply because I'm swimming way too far back and forth now. However, there is a water vehicle. It took me a long time to actually build it. The first iteration of it feels pretty slow. What it's good for is long distances, because it provides oxygen. It has its own health and its own power cell giving it power. You can repair the vehicle and also replace a power cell too. I did upgrade my vehicle. It improved acceleration, speed, and turning. It felt a lot better to use after the upgrade. There's even more modifications that you can do to the vehicle too. I use modifications to make mine more power efficient. You can't store anything in the vehicle, and you can't be holding something when you get in. I was hoping to haul around portable storage devices, but no can do. Another interesting thing in this game is adaptations. Your character needs to better adapt to this world to survive it, and I've come across a few adaptations so far. They have all upgraded me in some way, like one that lets me swim in very hot waters. Before, I couldn't enter a hot area, but after I got that adaptation, I could. The adaptations look like purplish pink alien plants with like a clear outer shell. It's very noticeable, you can't miss it. I became pretty engaged in this game. It was a constant battle of being underwater and getting items before I ran out of oxygen. That was always my biggest concern. Again, creatures will attack you, but they're not super threatening, I think. I believe you can even use a flare to distract them, but I never even tried that as I never felt the need to. I've only ever died from lack of oxygen in this game. I don't even think you can injure creatures. I mean, there's no weapons in this game. Anyways, this is a single player and a co-op game, and I think co-op would make it a lot easier to get resources, so you can build stuff even sooner. I'd recommend that, unless you like to play solo like me. This is a pretty slow moving game, with a more relaxed playstyle, but you have to really pay attention to that oxygen. Overall, I enjoyed my time on this game, even with the performance issues that I had. If the potential performance issues isn't a deterrent, then I can recommend this game. I think this game is pretty good, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.